Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. You already see the topic. We're going to, once again, talk about this Damian Lillard situation. I don't know if I've mentioned, I'm kind of tired of talking about that. So before we dive into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. And now here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at Jackie Ray TV.
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K. And yeah, I have nothing to add. Basketball sucks. So let's talk about Damian Lillard.
I am a little excited, though. I'm getting closer to matching Chris. That's my goal in life right now.
What are you talking about?
Just like our pictures and our height. And
no.
Like I'm trying
you said look good.
I'm it's close.
No. You said look good.
First of all, Warriors fan, you can't be on my behind about the Lakers because I've been talking about the Lakers this whole time. You can talk to make yourself feel better, but it's a dumpster fire over here in LA, and so you can't really say nothing that I haven't already said to myself. But I appreciate you being here this morning. I don't appreciate this first topic, though, so let's get into it. We got to talk about, once again, Damian Lillard. And I think I said yesterday, wasn't it yesterday that I said I'm tired of hearing about it? Oh,
we were right.
Here we go again. Right. So this is one of those things that I think is we don't need to talk about it anymore. So let me break this down so everybody knows the timeline, because I had to write it down, because this is all you need to know about Damian Lillard. He was drafted 2012. They didn't make the playoffs till 2014. They've gone to the playoffs every year since. It has amounted to absolutely nothing. He had a chance to get out in 2019, but he didn't. He signed a super max contract for $196 million that will take him through the 2023-2024 season. So that's his fault, okay? That also makes him very expensive. It makes it hard for him to be traded. That's all we really need to know. We could literally say, let's go. But no, we can't, because somebody else, because we do see the talent in Dame and we feel like, oh, this doesn't really make sense. Things have to happen. He should probably leave. Because of his talent, that narrative is always going to be there, and I get that. But he's literally dropped bars telling us that if you've heard from some of his people that he wants to go, it's a lie. So can we just believe him and move on? But no, according to the Ringer's Kevin O'Connor, and Chris, do you ever go to the Ringer for your sports news? That's what I want to know. Do you? Okay. All right. So according to Kevin O'Connor from the Ringer, he says that basically that story that we talked about, I think it was like a week or two ago, that Dame entertained LeBron and AD for a possible LA situation, even though Dame himself said, no, they didn't ask me to actually go to LA. It was just a conversation about my options. So Kevin O'Connor says, yeah, but that's not actually what happens. This is his quote. He says, I've talked to people around the league about it from a strategic point of view, what's happening here. He goes from making these vague comments about, yeah, I don't know how long I'll be here weeks before the season, to suddenly say I'm all in. And there are front office executives around the league who think this is a strategic choice by the Blazers and Dame's group, and all that in order to create leverage for the organization, because right now the league teams just want Dame. So he's basically saying Daryl Morey, people like Daryl Morey and the 76ers, they only want Dame. They don't focus at all. They don't even talk about like CJ or Nurk. They only want Dame. So he's basically saying that Dame and the Trailblazers did this so that the world would know, like, he had an opportunity to play with LeBron, and he was like, no, I'm going to stay here, so that everybody else would be like, okay, damn, maybe we can't get Dame. He also went on to say that by committing and showing you're all in every single facet over the course of time, that diminishes, or they hope that it diminishes the desire for other teams to go for Damian Lillard, and instead they will say, okay, let's go get CJ, or let's go get some other guy. Ta-da! The new conspiracy theory. I think it's lame. Chris?
No, yeah, I'm not. It's so dumb. Like, yeah, I heard about this too, and I moved off of it real quick. My answer is not going to change between yesterday and today. You know, Damian Lillard is in the situation that he's in right now to no fault beside his own. He had the opportunity, if he wanted to force the issue, he could have done it. To your point about his contract, though, I mean, at least it makes things easier it makes him easier to move the longer he plays. So next year in this coming off season, it might be a little bit easier for him to move because it's only 2 more years, and it's Damian Lillard. Like, I'll take all of Damian Lillard's contract. It's not like it's Ben Simmons where you're not sure what you're going to get with that entire contract with Ben Simmons. Damian Lillard, I know I'm going to get 2 competitive seasons out of Damian Lillard, so I ain't worried about his money. But yeah, man, I get it, and that's cool and everything, but at the same time, it still doesn't change the situation at all. Like, the situation is what the situation is. The Blazers had a great win last night. Big help to Damian Lillard. I mean, there's still season left for them. They're back at 500. They're 7-1 at home. Like, to me, all this stuff is just talk, because I feel like I don't know if there's truth to a lot of this, but I've always grown up hearing that, you know, people will plant these kind of stories, people like GMs or agents or people in this. I've always heard that. So I don't know if this is a situation where that's coming up, where other team, like someone in LA is trying to plant this story so people can think that Damian Lillard is still going to be. I don't know what it is, but the point of the matter is he ain't going nowhere. He's not going nowhere. Nothing's going to change. We can fish and we can talk about all we want. Damian Lillard is going to be a Blazer at least for the remainder of this season. We can talk more about it in the offseason. I'm over it. I'm like you. I'm over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing changed with this.
Nothing. And I first of all, I don't believe this story at all, because that is a calculated
Neither do I.
record by Dame. And so we'd have to go in, and Dame would have to sit down and be like, guys, got this great idea. I'm going to meet with LeBron and AD. We'll leak it. Right. And then I'll say I'm recommitted. So then everybody stops calling you about me. No one had that conversation. It didn't happen. That's number one. Yeah. And even if it did happen, which again, I don't think it did, it's not going to stop teams from still trying to get Damian Lillard, because what we do know is they're not going to the finals. So after the season is over, they don't make another finals run. This narrative starts all over, and everybody goes and tries to get Dame. This is the dumbest thing ever, and this is why nobody reads The Ringer. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I'm just saying. So anyway, unless you got anything else, Chris.
No. Kevin O'Connor led me astray with the whole Kevin Durant thing. So ever since then, I definitely do not look at The Ringer, because this dude talks as if he knows what he's talking about, and then it'd be the far opposite. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not on The Ringer like that. So.
But you got us talking, so good job. You did your job.
Right.
I'll give you
true.
That. But that's
true.
That's all I got for Need to Know News. Chris, take us into the Post Up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Post Up on this Thursday. Yeah, we got some fun ones to go on today. Jackie and some Laker fans in chat might not agree with this first one, but I found it funny, because this is how it's felt like it's been for referees this season, where they've been very fair weather with all the games that they've been refereeing, and most recently the Lakers have been getting some crazy treatment from referees, and Laker fans did not feel good when they saw this picture go on the internet yesterday. And Lakers lead says, look at how the refs looked at Giannis. Lakers never stood a chance. And Giannis did. He did get to the line quite often, which he typically does. And we know that what's it called? Oh Lord, what was I going to say? And we know the Lakers have been having a rough time. And then on top of that, this was an away game in Milwaukee. It's been a rough start for the Lakers, waiting for LeBron James to hopefully come back to them on Friday. That is the rumor right now. But yeah, this picture is hilarious. Referees. Yeah, I didn't get to watch the game, Jackie. So I don't know if you watched it as well, because I know you ain't got LeBron, so you might feel the type of way like, I don't need to watch this if LeBron's not playing right now. But were the referees on another level for y'all again last night, or what's the case with that?
I didn't see last night's game. I was continuing my birthday celebration, so I went to a comedy show last night, which was okay. Comedian.
Oh,
if you're watching, y'all were okay. So
that's what I was expecting.
But
they're all right.
Yeah. So because they were just okay, I did see people commenting about the refs and stuff, and so I can't say firsthand, but I will say. We have been getting the trash end of the deal when it comes to the refs. So when I saw this last night, and I was like, damn it, I ain't never seen a ref look at nobody on the Lakers like that. Like, what is that? That reminded me of that video that every now and then circulates with Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan telling the ref, this is what it is. And he goes, I didn't see that. And Michael Jordan, like, that's what happened. I believe you, Michael. Foul, number, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It was exactly like the same face.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, Giannis did have 47 in that game, but he only had 11 free throws. And Giannis, that's typical for Giannis. And to be real, yeah, I feel like Giannis is one of those players that he doesn't try to self foul. So it doesn't. I get the meme. Lakers are just feeling the type of way because the refs have been a problem against them. So I get it.
Yeah.
But 47 points, y'all only lost by 7. I don't know. Y'all have to tell me about that one in the chat. I'm waiting for Mike Glock and those boys to let me know what's good in the chat. But that happened. And then we move off of that and the terrible refereeing going on for Lakers, and we go to another ex-teammate or another connection to LeBron James, and that's his boy Tristan Thompson absolutely going off on Luke Walton and the Kings and how he feels, and he thinks that the Kings are just not playing inspired basketball. They should be better, but they're not. And the Kings, to Tristan Thompson's point, the Kings started off the season pretty solid, one of my homies believed that the Kings should have made a stride this year. I will never believe in the Kings, so I couldn't co-sign that. But as of late, the Kings have they've lost 5 of the last 6 of their games. They are 6-9 right now. They're way in the bottom of the West. And after last night's loss to the Timberwolves, a game that they felt like they should have won. You heard Tristan Thompson go absolutely off when they were asking if they just need more inspiration from Luke Walton. And to be real, I'm gonna read the quote. And let me read the quote first, and then we'll get into it. So Tristan Thompson said this after the reporter asked him that question. He says, "I don't need no effing coach to inspire me. Never that. Never have. Never will. The day I need a coach to inspire me is the day I'm effing retired." And you know what? I know the internet's going back and forth. I've saw all kinds of tweets and this, that, and the third. I don't disagree with Tristan. Like, why good players and players who push the needle in the right direction for a basketball team to be good or bad, they typically don't need the coach to be there like, you can do this, okay, LeBron James, you're the one that's going to get us over the hump tonight, and we're expecting you to lead this team. If you don't lead this team, then we can. No good player necessarily needs that. Now they might need that, like when they're slumping, and then the coach will be like, it's all right, keep shooting, kind of thing, a la Steve Curry and like Steph Curry. But they don't never need that inspiration to be a good player from a coach. As far as all the players I've watched, all my favorite players, that's never been the case. So for Tristan Thompson to say this, I do agree with it. It's just funny because it's coming from Tristan Thompson. But Jackie, that there's been drama wherever Luke Walton has been ever since he left the Golden State Warriors, as far as his coaching is concerned, when he was with the Lakers and his terrible use of his draft picks that year, from when he first went to the Sacramento Kings, and what he's done to Marvin Bagley, who should be a very big piece for that team. So there's a lot of things, and it felt like the reporter was trying to bait him into saying something negative for Luke Walton, but Tristan Thompson took it the other direction. But sticking to Tristan's quote, what's your thoughts on him saying that he doesn't need a coach to inspire him? Are you like me? Do you agree with him, or do you think he's out of pocket for saying that?
I think 2 things. First and foremost, I agree with him. At the point that these guys are playing, the coach is just there to help you put the pieces together and run good playing schemes and utilize players the way they're supposed to. Like you said, it's not really to inspire you. Your inspiration is the fact that you get to play the game that you love and make millions of dollars. It's not some coach that's going to inspire you. That being said, though, I think if Luke was that coach, he'd have been like, oh, yeah, Luke's great. There's time. Because we've seen, like Steve, I always go back to Steve Kerr. When we saw Steph kind of get down on himself, it wasn't like he acted it out. It wasn't like he was verbal about it. But you could see by his mannerisms, Steph was kind of down on himself. And Steve just walked up to me. He's like, hey, shake this off. I've seen you do this time and time again. The shots don't fall, and then they do. You just got to go out there and keep making the shots. And you saw that simple little head nod like, yeah, you're right, coach. That's not who Luke Walton is. Luke Walton would have walked up to somebody and said that, and they'd have been, shut your, they wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah.
Not that rapport there. So that's a reflection on him. He would have answered that question entirely differently if he had that chemistry with Luke, and he just doesn't. And he did the absolute right thing. Instead of say, I ain't feeling him like that. He can't inspire nobody over here. He said, no, we can inspire ourselves. It was the absolute right answer.
Right. And which is very odd for Tristan Thompson when it comes to the media. I agree. I think Tristan Thompson handled that correctly. I couldn't find any meme or anything to poke fun at because I completely agree with Tristan Thompson in this stance. I saw the chat. They're saying that they think Luke Walton's going to get fired this year. Depending on how the Kings do this year, I think that's definitely a possibility. Like I said, this Marvin Bagley situation is a Kings problem, and Luke Walton did not make it any better. So if the Kings do not, I mean, they're only 6-9, which is okay, but look, if they keep going in this direction, they stay in one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. I think this is the year where we'll see Luke Walton finally bounce. But again, it is the Kings we're talking about, so I don't know. But yeah, so wow, we agree with Tristan Thompson. 2021 is a weird year. Moving over
everybody. He's for everybody. So let him be for everybody in this moment.
So true. We move away from the NBA and over to football in the NFL. And we're talking about not the player, because we talked about Stafford yesterday, but now we're talking about his wife, Miss Kelly Stafford. And I guess amidst a crazy game that we saw against the Niners, where the Niners were just putting the smackdown on the Rams, Kelly Stafford was having a grand old time in the where she was sitting. And when I say grand old time, I mean having a grand old time. You know what I'm talking about? Where she got so frustrated that it was seen that she threw a pretzel at a Niners fan. And a fan on Instagram called her out. And I'm about to read this message and then wait till I read Kelly's response. But here is the message. And she basically said, at last night's game at Levi Stadium, why did you throw a pretzel at a Niner fan sitting behind me? Who do you think you are to do such a thing? You are lucky you didn't hit me with it, because the outcome would have been different for you. Show some class and support your husband and his new team with grace, please. I'm a Rams fan and am embarrassed by your action last night. That is why I'm sharing with others. Okay. Hopefully, there's no ass. Hopefully, you will be more aware of what you're doing in the future and set a better example for your children. I love how Karen's picture was blurred out. Golly. Anyways, and Kelly came in. She said, "Girl, I know I'm an idiot." He was saying a bunch of things that were aggressive towards our crew, but zero excuse. I tried to apologize, but in the end, knew I was wrong. Will always stand up for my guy and everyone I love, but obviously needed to do it completely different. I'm embarrassed too. Sorry you had to witness me in my weak moment. I mean, yeah, but the way Karen came off like, you were this close to having a lawsuit, because if that pretzel hit me, it would have been something different, Miss Kelly Stafford. Like the first one was what got me more triggered than anything else. And yes, don't throw pretzels, people. Don't throw nothing, because you never know what it's going to turn into after you cast that first stone. So yes, don't do that. But this whole thing is just all over the place, and I get it. She's upset. I don't know what the person was saying, but again, you don't have to throw a pretzel. But to me, it's the Karen message that initially started the whole thing. That's just this whole thing just makes me so upset. But yeah, do you have any thoughts about either Kelly or Miss Karen? Because I don't know.
I mean, I would rather personally it be a pretzel than water. Because a pretzel you can
facts, right?
But when that water hits you, you're drenched, and that's what Patrick Mahomes' slow brother did. So I prefer the pretzel. So I'm fine. That's fine.
Oh man, the shit. He wasn't even part of it and still got a straight today. That's what happened. All right, and in brighter football news, the future is upon us. We have this kid. This prodigy, 4th grade kid. He's in perfect prime. What's the word I'm looking for? Quarterback stance. He got the hat backwards and everything. The kid's in 4th grade, and check this dude out running these drills. Look at this. Look at it. And then once his strength gets better, because he still has that crazy windup, because he needs all the strength in his little skinny body to get that thing out, but the accuracy is still there. So once he gets bigger and the strength gets there, this dude's gonna be crazy. Also, like that he's wearing Adidas too. Shout out to the Adidas. You know how I run. But look, you said 2030 QB1 franchise. Like, yeah, that's what's up. But this is what I'm talking about. What's cool about this and what's crazy about this, there's so many outlets right now for kids that are, trying to take these sports seriously. I witnessed my little brother go through it in the basketball circuit, where, it's just different from how sports were before. Like there's so many, gyms, there's so many programs like this to help these kids hone their craft so early. And this dude already right now in fourth grade, already looking like he better than a lot of these other quarterbacks that we can see in high school right now. So I think that's kind of cool. I have no problem with it. But yeah, go on, kid. I don't know if Fumble will be around that long, but I'm still looking to see what happens in 2030 when you playing quarterback at a higher older age.
Could you see us sitting here in 2030?
I don't know. I don't think so. But we'll see. Tell my post up. No, I ain't gonna be that old, but
next on, yeah.
We ain't gonna be that old.
Kids, like, I remember I asked my mom. I was like, "Mom," when I was young, I was like, "How old are you?" She's like, "I'm 40." I'm like, "Oh my God, you're about to die." You know what I mean? Like when you're young, it just sounds like
you don't get it. Right?
Like, it's like 2030.
You're about to die.
2022. Talk about. Oh my God! Welcome to the post-op with like
it is literally just 8 years away.
In 8 years.
Yeah. Oh man, but that's all I got for the post-up today, Jackie. On this fine Thursday, can you let us know what we're not gonna do?
Yes, I'm gonna let you guys know now. This one's gonna be short and sweet because I hate to admit at this moment, I believe with Stephen A. I agree with Stephen A. Smith, and it hurts my heart because I don't like to agree with Stephen A. Smith, but I do. And the reason why I do is because this one's a little tricky for me, because I think that no matter, and I'm not talking about like a regular job where you just working a 9 to 5 to get that check. You don't owe them people anything. If you wake up one day and want to quit, you should do that. But when you're going into like business with somebody and you've decided you're going to build something, you're going to build a legacy, or when you go into a relationship, when you're dating somebody, relationships require a certain amount of sacrifice, right? So, and that's across the board. It's give and take. If a friend of mine and I have an argument, we have to sit down, we have to hash it out, we have to figure out a way to get past it together. Something's gonna have to give, probably, but somebody has to, it has to be back and forth. When you decide, okay, I want to build together, the last thing you should do is say, you know what, yeah, I know we wanted to build together, but I feel some type of way about this one thing, so I'm gonna bow out right now. Regardless of how you feel about the vaccine right now, that's exactly what Kyrie did. Kyrie has built this team, and basically now he goes on this rant about how to play this game requires sacrifice, but he's not making a sacrifice for the people that he built the team with and for. It's kind of, I love Kyrie. Y'all know that I love Kyrie, so I tread very lightly on what I say about him because I do love him and I want him on the floor and I want him to succeed, but I also want him to hear how he sounds. You can't really say I believe in sacrifice except for this one. It doesn't make sense. So Stephen A went on this rant and he had the same issue that I had. And I know Chris, Kevin Pryor, Kevin Lang, all of y'all said, no, it's fine. Y'all, the Nets fans in Barclays Center shouting Steph was MVP, that bothered me. It still bothers me. It's inappropriate when you have and I don't even like Kevin Durant like that. But when you have a player like Kevin Durant on the floor, I understand. It still makes me mad. So, it bothered me. But here's Stephen A's take on it. So I'm just going to show, I think I put in his comment, but if not, I'm just going to read to you what he said. Because I low-key kind of agree with it. Kyrie got him out here on this deserted island right now. He says, KD, you made the wrong decision, bro. And here's why. Because you trusted Kyrie. Kyrie Irving betrayed you, flat out betrayed you, left you hanging. And while you're sitting up there getting your butt kicked last night, all right, Steph Curry is sitting there shimmying and joking around, laughing on the court. They were cheering for Steph Curry in Brooklyn from opening tip. They were chanting MVP in Barclays Center, and it wasn't for the dude averaging 28.9 points a game for the Brooklyn Nets. It was for Steph Curry. And then you juxtapose Steph Curry compared to Kyrie Irving, and what do you have? You've got Kyrie Irving, who is a showstopper, Kyrie Irving, who is a superstar talent. He is box office and can't be trusted. I actually hope Kyrie Irving gets cut. He also said KD shouldn't even want to be there. He shouldn't want to be wasting his services there. There's a lot in there. Cutting Kyrie is not where I'm at yet. I could see how I would arrive there, though. In my heart, I want moments in time like this to resonate with Kyrie. I want Kyrie to actually do some research instead of going to Twitter and getting his research from flat earthers. I want him to sit with people who are medical professionals. I want him to sit with people who have lost a loved one or who have a loved one in the ICU right now. The craziest thing to me in this world right now, without sharing my opinion on whether you're vaxxed or unvaxxed, we started this year with the highest death tolls of of COVID. We are on a trajectory to reach those same numbers, even though we had taken a dip. We're on trajectory to start those, and people are arguing about vax and masks. It makes no sense to me. And at some point, you got to realize, okay, this is a thing. We got to figure it out. This is a thing. Your team is losing. You got to figure it out. I don't know what that means. I don't know if you have to advocate for something. I don't know what that means. But the fact that you're sitting in silence when you see that your team needs you and you're not doing anything to make strides to be on that court, I would almost low-key give Kyrie a pass if I saw him saying, hey, I'm talking to this politician to see if maybe we can do this. Maybe it's not right to have this, that you have to be vaccinated. Maybe I have to get a test every 48 hours. I get that. I went to an event in downtown LA last week, had to show my vax card to get in, walked through the door, had to prove that I had a 48-hour negative test. That's doing a lot. And since I didn't have that, I had to take a rapid test on the spot. That's doing a lot. We need to figure out ways that, okay, if you want to go through the burden of getting tested every 48 hours, you can do that. Maybe they have to incur the cost of that. But we have to figure out a way to get along. And Kyrie, you're in a position to navigate that. You can say, I've talked to this person, I'm doing that. So even if you're not on the court, people can see that you at least want to be there because you're making strides to be there. But you up here like, oh, I said what I said. Sir, if that is your position, I do think you should be cut because it doesn't seem like you want to be there. It doesn't seem like you want to take steps to be there. And if you don't want to do that, then we need to find somebody who wants to be here, period. And I hate to say that because y'all know how much I love Kyrie, but Chris, what do you think? Oh, no. Is this
I
one
just
of those times
love.
I just love him. I need him to be there.
I just love the carnage that's just going on in Brooklyn, man. You hear upset that Steph Curry is getting an MVP chance in the clays, is what they call it. That is so upsetting. How could one of the best teams in the league with such a strong, amazing fan base in New York get boos and MVP chance in the... It's the Nets. If Kyrie Irving was playing or if he wasn't playing, and the score was the exact same, the MVP chance would have still been there. So for that part of it, like I get what Stephen A. Smith is saying. I get it. Cool. But it wouldn't have made a damn difference. We're talking about the Nets. It wouldn't have been different. Now, for the other part, as far as the sacrifice and stuff, yes, I completely agree. I completely agree. I'm the same as you. I like Kyrie Irving up until he put on a Boston Celtics and a Nets jersey because I hate both those teams. But the player, I like Kyrie Irving on the court. The dude is one of the best point guards. Should have been the top 75 player. But at the same time, if you ain't gonna make the sacrifice for your team, if you ain't gonna be there for these guys when they're out here riding for you, James Harden forced his way and got killed through the media to make sure he got there. Kevin Durant could have most likely, and I'll die on this hill, most likely wanted to go and take on the challenger Madison Square Garden, but decided to go with you over to Brooklyn because that's where you wanted to be. And then when you're making this decision, you decide that, because of videos and things you saw on the internet, you decide not to do it. Like, I agree. Now, as far as cutting, that's a bit drastic. I don't care. Even for my worst enemies, I think that's a little too dramatic. But that'd be great too. I mean, just add to the story of the Nets right now. But I think it'd be a bit drastic to cut them. Trade conversation, sure. But yeah, I absolutely feel like this. Kyrie knows what he's doing. He made this choice, and right now he's thinking of himself. I'm sorry. Like, yes, we all should get a choice. I get that. But at the same time, like I said, I don't want to hear nothing about the basketball side of it. I don't want to hear the complaints about, well, then Steph Curry shouldn't have been getting it. No, that Kyrie decided he didn't want to play. So they get the MVP chance and they get blown out. Sorry. If the Nets gonna get beat in the first round, oh well, damn it, Kyrie, you should have played. He should have played, but he decided not to. Sorry, I don't want to hear the basketball stuff because he made his choice. So I get Stephen A. Smith, but at the same time, that team was blown. If that team blew him out with or without Kyrie Irving, would have been the same result because that's just who Brooklyn Nets fans are. And I guarantee you, there ain't not one Brooklyn Nets fan in this chat that's gonna be like, "Hey, don't say that," because there ain't no Brooklyn Nets fans.
Do we have Brooklyn Nets fans in the chat? Is there?
We're gonna be here all day waiting for one to show up.
I was gonna say, I know we got Warriors. I think we got a couple Knicks. That's it. And maybe one or two Lakers. Okay, yeah, no, we don't have it. Okay, all right. So
yeah, we gonna be here all day.
I was like, I don't see nobody. Okay. Still think it was disrespectful, but I still think, bottom line, at the end of the day, like you said, yeah, James Harden wearing damn near a fat suit just to get to Brooklyn. All these things had to play out because these are the people that Kyrie wanted there, and then now he's just like, no, I said what I said. I'm gonna sit in the corner. Y'all handle that. It's disrespectful. Right. I don't like it. So, Blake
Griffin.
That's
like,
all
everything Blake Griffin had to go through. Like, he didn't dunk a cent. I'm not saying he did that in the long run to get to the Nets, but everything that he got, all these other players that made their way to the Nets, and I'm not defending the Nets, but they got scrutinized in different ways to get to this team, you know, and you couldn't make this sacrifice for them, and now they are here getting. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just it's whack, but it's the choice you wanted to make, and here we are. So now we'll see what happens.
Yep. I was convinced that one person would pop up and say, I'm a Nets fan, but negative, not a one. Okay, so that's our show for today. Okay. So I will not be here tomorrow. I have to run to Denver to take care of some family stuff. Kevin Pryor will be here, you guys, so make sure I will try to log in and be in the chat if I can. No promises, though. But either way, if I don't see you in the chat tomorrow, have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. Kevin Pryor is going to hold it down for me, so y'all going to have 2 Knicks fans on your Friday.
Good luck. Good luck.
See y'all tomorrow, y'all. Bye.
Bye.